says.
And you'll have to put up with my creaky chair because I ordered a new one, but it still hasn't even shipped. I've been dealing with that. I had to weld this one together. Like I took it out of the garage and ended up like hitting it with the grinder and welding the metal on it together.
Oh, did you?
Well, it started splitting one day, and I was like, said to my wife, I'm like, "Okay," I'm like, "It's happening this week. It's done." And then finally, it broke right off, and I'm like, "Okay, I got to make this last a little longer."
Right. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna get it going.
Put up with my creaky chair because I ordered a new one, but it still hasn't even shipped. I hate my voice when I hear it. That's for sure.
Right. Let me turn the volume down on that.
I think we're live.
Yeah,
actually.
we should be live.
Well, there you go. You guys found out about my chair. It's been splitting right in half. I don't know where they came in. I heard it splitting one day.
You're
So
all just
maybe,
liars.
maybe they heard terrible things or got the wrong idea.
Because Jeranism. Sorry.
I've lost you a little bit.
Jeranism has called us all liars because we are globe earth proponents.
Oh, I see. This is interesting.
If a man who only uploads content claiming that the earth is flat calls us liars, then it must be true.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Creaky Blinder Live, or Sunday Night Live, whatever you want to call it. I haven't really decided. And tonight we are joined by Brainy Beaver.
Hello.
Same format as usual, but I do want to start off by talking about Friday's video on Jeranism. Because something quite funny has happened, and I'm hoping I'm going to be able to screen share it. I joined with Fight the Flat Earth for another collaboration to shamelessly increase my subscribers. Nothing wrong with that. And while I was in the live chat during the premiere last night, I sent Craig a super chat because he sends me super chats, and I jokingly asked how many subscribers I would earn for £5. And I very, very quickly received the following message, which I hope you can all now see. So a flat earther called Burnt Toaster said that he was just in the Fight the Flat Earth chat, and he saw that I sent him £5, asking how many subscribers I could buy for a £5. At which point FTF responded, and I quote, "Not in this chat, talk to me in internal comms." I have so this guy called Burnt Toast has now saved the screenshots, and he will be making a video exposing myself and Fight the Flat Earth. So awesome. Yeah, there's that as well. So I'm not really sure what to say about that.
But didn't you know that we've like ripped over the fabric of their, like, I mean, This is totally real because we apparently accidentally used a name. I mean, let's face it, that is a bit of a coincidence that we probably wouldn't have.
And yeah, but this is what I found. Do you know what I found the funniest thing about that live stream, Beaver? Right, we were doing a live stream to reveal that it was all a joke and that we were just teasing the flat Earth, and it was a as I called it in my video, a social experiment, but they are calling it a hoax. And yet that was it. Infinite Plane Society still seem to be questioning whether or not there was any truth behind it. Even though we were there telling him and the rest of the Flat Earth community that it was a joke, he was still questioning whether it was a real thing or not, and whether OSI actually exists, and do we get paid to make these videos.
Well, I thought it was funny that he was trying to say that we did a terrible job of selling it, but then he proceeded to be very sold on it.
Yeah, exactly, and that was the funny thing with the Jeranism video that I covered on Friday, right? Because he said, you know, I don't know how many people in the chat have seen the video. I'd like to hope everyone has, but maybe not. But he just kept banging on about the fact that, you know, the fact that we've done this proves that, you know, that we are getting paid, and he wasn't sure if it was real, or it may have been real, may not have been real, and he was just all over the place with it. But he then tried to sort of claim that, but actually, yeah, I said that it was a hoax, and he did, in fairness, but he still made a video about it.
Well, Infinite Plane was doing the same thing. He was actively telling us what a terrible job we did selling it, but then proceeding to not even actually buy our explanation of the fact that it was fake. So in one hand he was saying, well, yeah, we all knew it was fake, but look how real this is. Are you sure it's not real?
Yeah,
I want it to be real.
Yeah, and this is what I mean. He's so forcefully trying to convince everyone that, oh yeah, I knew it was fake, I knew it was all a hoax. But was it? Because
apparently they're saying we're getting an echo here. I'm wondering.
Are we?
Trying to listen to the stream here. Oh yeah, I've got a little bit of an echo. But is it coming off of you too, I wonder?
I don't know if...
Oh yeah, there's a bit of an echo coming through your stream here. You might be pumping. Are you using Banana right now?
I've got... What have I got? I've got the sound off on my... Every time I do a live stream, something's got to go bananas with it.
Well, that's okay. We're all learning. I mean, I don't think I've even been on time once yet. I've only done 2 of them. I plan to do more. But if you're using your Banana, what you might be doing is you might be pumping system audio. Like you might be pumping me over to the, like wherever you're bringing me in, you might be putting me over to B1, B2.
Yeah, so if I... Right, I've taken down the desktop audio a little bit now. Because maybe my mic is picking up yours as well. I don't know. We'll soon see. I'm sure everybody will.
Oh. Well, because you're not using a headset, I see.
Yeah, no. The last time I used the headset, it didn't go well. After about an hour and 30 minutes, I realized I didn't have it plugged in, so I won't be doing that again. Absolutely not. How people in the chat, how bad is the echo? Is it I can't listen to this stream bad, or is it?
Yeah, because of course I'm listening to you too, so I've got both of you in my ear, so it's hard for me to tell. Was it Ragical said not an echo? Creaky sounds a tad bit like he's speaking through a tin can.
Oh. Right, hold on, let me...
Again, if you're using Banana, you might have dragged... well, that wouldn't create the echo. But you might have dragged over your the IntelliPan.
Yeah, I bet it's got something to do with my mic settings again. It's always my mic settings. Why? Oh, why? Oh, why?
He said whatever you did now is working. It sounds better. I've got the stream muted.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Slightly reverb. Now Beaver is echoing. Oh my god.
See, I don't think we're not echoing to each other, so it's got to be on your end.
Yeah. Right, okay.
It's really creepy when you've got the live stream going and
I know.
you're talking, because it's hard to tell who's talking.
I've stopped having the live stream open on my screen, because if I do, it just really confuses me, and I find that I'm not paying any attention to anything anybody says to me, and I find myself responding to questions that were asked 5 minutes ago, and then it doesn't make any sense.
Brainy Beaver's an AI flat earther told me, and you know you can trust them because they're skeptics. Oh my god.
So are we fine just to carry on then, everybody in the chat, because that's exactly what I'm going to do anyway. Right, somebody has said something in the Discord. Are you? Does it sound okay, or?
Well, it's not. See, like we sound really good to each other, so it has to be on the feed end.
Yeah.
Hey, you're not sharing? You got dual monitors. You're not sharing your Hangouts window, are you? You're not at all.
No, that's just...
Share your voice meter with me for a second.
Hang on a second. Yeah, so yeah, hang on 1 second. Right, let me try that now. So what I've done, yeah, I've got the Hangouts window. It's not visible, but I've got it window capture. So maybe there was sound from that and sound from the desktop audio. So because I'm not going to use my desktop audio anymore, I've killed it. Oh, no, that's definite. Are you still there, Beaver?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, so hopefully that should have fixed it, because what that would be is I'd have the audio coming through from the window capture, wouldn't I? And the desktop audio. Or would that be the same thing? I'm not sure.
It does sound a little weird still.
Yeah?
Girl and Freakster's OBS daily breaking it.
Yeah, every time I touch OBS, something goes wrong with it. I don't know why I just don't give up and download something else. Is there anything else?
Can people even hear me?
I don't know. I think I may have. Yeah, I don't think I can. Right, hang on a second.
I don't think they can hear me now.
Yeah, I've unmuted you now. I had muted you by mistake, but what the hell?
That's a little better all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'm a little quiet. I'm in the background. I think they're just hearing me through your mic.
Are they? Right, so I've turned the desktop audio back up now to where I regularly have it. So
Show me your. You should show me your banana.
right, hang on a second. I got to try and work out how to do that now without
Everybody
showing.
can take that. PMARS and that can take that as they wish.
Yeah.
Show me your banana. Creaky. Come on, I want to see your banana.
Right, hang on a second.
We glitched the matrix.
Right, because I only want to share my screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think. Here,
Right.
try something for me.
There we are. So
Yep.
I'm sharing my screen with you now, I think, and hopefully not with everybody that's watching the stream.
Okay, but what about your voice meter? What are you using to distribute your sound?
No, what? Nothing. It's just I
Oh, I see.
just plug my mic in and use whatever OBS. I just turn it on in OBS.
Okay, it sounds a little better now. See, yeah, now I'm loud and clear.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of an echo in you.
Yeah.
See, I wonder if you turn off your speakers, if all of a sudden it would go away for a
Yeah.
second.
We tried this last time when I had Radical on, and this was the problem I had. So I've turned my speakers down now.
Yeah, so you stay down for a second. Keep talking. Say something.
Yeah. My speaker volume is down really low now, to the point where I can hear you, but not amazingly well.
Let me see what happens on your stream here. 'Cause here it comes. Yeah, so I'm just getting that part in your stream here. Just be quiet for 1 second. Sorry, everybody. Here, you're about to turn it down. Yeah. Here. You're about to say something. Yeah, it's weird. You still got like that robotic sound. But anyways, it's a little better. Is everybody able to deal with this? Yeah, the IndyCar Sports Car Podcast there says he's having flashbacks. We spent an hour last night or so shooting the shit and figuring out his mic, and then finally, because of course it's a podcast, right? So you don't want to have shitty mic sounds. So
Yeah.
we're like, okay, let's kill it. We'll just try this again next weekend.
So so we're okay to carry on. Everybody in the side chat is okay with it, yeah? Yeah, everyone's saying yeah, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, they're saying things like I hold Baldy Cats responsible, and you know what, I second that motion.
Yeah, and Turquoise Laura says it wouldn't be a Creaky Blinder live stream without some sort of issue. Yeah, she's right. In fairness, I need to take Look a Pig up on his offer about teaching me how to live stream well.
Well, yeah, here you can unshare to me for a second, and then you've seen the voice meter banana, have you not?
No.
Okay, so turn off your share for 1 second here.
I thought I had. I'm not sharing now.
Oh, I'm looking at your screen, but maybe it's just like. I mean, I'm looking at your screen on Hangouts.
Right, share.
Well, maybe it's just stuck on whatever the last thing.
Yeah, I've cancelled it.
Anyways, we'll get to having more fun than this in like 10 seconds. But
Yeah.
I'm going to very quickly show you.
My streams
this.
are going to become known as how to OBS badly by the Creaky Blinder.
Ah, shit! I clicked on the wrong thing.
Oh, there we are. Brainy Beaver's left the call. He hit the he hit the wrong button. Hopefully, either that or he's got fed up of me breaking OBS. Talk amongst yourself, anyone. So, Burnt Toast is in the chat. Is he?
God, I'm sorry.
That's okay, dude.
I killed the entire window. This is a lot of fun, actually. I mean, I'm having fun, anyways.
Yeah, yeah. The people watching, kind of they just got to deal with. We've actually got a flat earther. The guy that left that comment, Burnt Toast, is in the chat. So
okay, well here I'll finish this real quickly, and we can get on to having some fun. Do you see my? You can just see. They can't, but you can see my banana here, right? And if you guys go look up voice meters MEETER banana, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it will make less sexual. It'll be less sexual and make more sense. But so now that Creaky, you're looking at my banana. You can see this is what we use. This is what we've been using. So we pump. It's kind of difficult to set up, but once you pump everything through here, like I control inputs and outputs on who's coming in from what source and where. Like if I want you and everybody else to be able to hear what I'm like the porn playing in the background here that you can't hear.
Yeah.
I hit B1 and B2.
Right.
Anyways, obviously I'm kidding, but either way. So so I'll get out of sharing screen and we can get on with having a real fun time here. Not that we're not. I'm enjoying myself. Yeah, exactly. How's everybody doing?
Exactly.
I saw $5 go by, Creaky. You're gonna have to go check that comment afterwards. Hold on, I can chase it down. No, I can't chase it down. It's too far, and I got out of the. Anyways, whatever.
Right. So
your Jeranism video. Let's go on with that.
Yeah.
You were going with your Jeranism video.
Yeah. Did you hear me saying that Burnt Toast is in the chat, and he is a real live flat earther, apparently, according to Fight the Flat Earth. And he is asking me to show the other messages he sent me, but no, I'm not going to do that.
Are they all dirty, terrible messages?
Yeah, there's just references to Welshmen liking sheep, and it's the usual childish sort of flat earth comment that I get that I always ignore, which is why he will have noticed I didn't reply to the comment I showed at the beginning of the screen, because I don't reply to flat earthers comments, because there would be nothing to be gained by replying to them apart from giving them the attention that they so desperately seem to crave.
See, I've got an ear-to-ear smile right now because I guess I'm a shit disturber. Because I usually poke them. I like to look at them like almost like a caged animal that's like, you shouldn't do this to caged animals, everybody, by the way, but like flat earthers are like, think of them as like an evil caged animal. I don't know why I'm saying they're evil, but either way, I think they're spreading bad information. Evil might be a little harsh. It's not Hillary Clinton, but I don't have political references to go from there. I have somebody's talking to me about Rothschilds. I think Piggy got into that and everything, and it started getting really crazy. We're not going that direction.
Brainy, are you in on my section of the Discord server? There's a room called Livestream Q&A. Can you get access to that?
I can, yeah. with my many monitors. I just got a third one, everybody. I'm so happy. It's like, I mean, you could argue that it's better than sex. Like that. My wife was like, I think you knew you were going to get another monitor when you went to the store. No, I really didn't, though.
I bought it by accident.
Well, I went to get a wire so I could hook up an older monitor, but the problem is that's a working computer, and then so I just have to buy another monitor eventually anyways. And then so if I bought a cheap monitor, then eventually I'd want a big monitor, and so I said screw it, cut the middleman out, right to a big monitor.
Yeah.
So I added the third one, but of course I was like putting the child down to sleep, so I was laying on the floor, and she was upstairs doing her thing, and then by the time I came out and he was asleep, I was like, shit, she's downstairs. And so by the time I got down there, she was sitting down there in the monitors in its brand new box, sitting there by my computer desk. And she's like, I saw your box over there. I'm like, shit, yeah, hey.
Yeah. Oh, you spotted that then.
Yeah, exactly. So of course, I knew when I saw that she'd gone downstairs. I'm like, there's no way she didn't see that 27-inch box. That's a funny. Anyways, sorry, my wife and I, we're like Lois and Peter Griffin. It's like, I almost missed that. Anyways, where did we come from? Burnt toast?
Yeah.
You asked me something, and I did not answer you, I don't think. But that's the ADHD kicking in. Piggy told me I'm on the spectrum, they say now.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know. I'm using it all the time now. My wife says something to me, and I'm like, hey, I'm on the spectrum, okay? and this is not to belittle people that are actually on the spectrum.
No. It's just an excuse so you can misbehave in front of your wife.
It's just, as soon as Piggy told me that, I told my wife,
Yeah.
she's like, oh, shit.
I know how it works. There we are. You should have access to that area of the Discord server now.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Wait, do I? Okay, so wait, your server. Oh, wait, we're in the. Yes, I went to your old server.
Yeah, no. It's in the new one.
Creaky. Okay, yeah, I'm finding you. Yeah, see, that's the ADHD for you. I started talking about monitors, and off I went. Just like a.
And you see, there's a whole. There's one,
yeah.
two,
So you,
three,
which one are you wanting me to go to?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So far, burnt toasters sent 12.
Where's that Creaky chat though?
12 questions. It should say live stream Q&A.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, burnt toast.
Yeah.
But that's Turquoise Laura. Is she posting that off of
Yeah.
the live chat?
So the moderators will pull the questions out of the side chat and put them in the live stream Q&A for me because.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It is nice, but it also illustrates how completely useless I am at going live. They need to feed me the questions, otherwise I miss them all.
I mean, it is hard. Okay, you got people. You got people like on the side chat. Like even I've got you open but muted, obviously, so I don't get an echo.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard. You try to read the comments, and then all of a sudden you're missing things in the comment. It's like, huh? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, Brainy, and you're like, oh yeah.
And this is what I mean. I'll see somebody ask a question in the chat, and I start answering that question, but I forget that they've asked that like 30 seconds ago. So then it's completely irrelevant to what's happening in the chat in front of me now, and then I'm completely confused about what I'm saying.
I mean, this kind of feeds into the whole flat Earth conspiracy person's, fear of like the media and stuff like that. I'm not saying the media doesn't necessarily. I don't think they necessarily invent things. I think they try to glorify things, and sometimes they're wrong because of how quick they want to be, and they need to slow down a little and make sure that they're actually getting the news right. But beyond that, the whole thing about them having somebody in their ear is like, what's that? I'm getting information here. It's like, yeah, see, that's the information coming. It's like, yeah, it's because they got about 10 people doing the job that we're doing when we're doing this, because otherwise they're like, the guy's sitting there with a blank look on his face as he's trying to figure out like which part of like which question in the live stream he's going to go over, while we're all watching him.
Yeah. The thing is as well, right? It's like this guy now, he's asking these questions, and the problem I haven't really got any problem with him. I'll just do what I do to all other flat earthers and ignore him. But he's just asking the same question in a different way, and they're also the same questions that I've been asked by every other flat earther that's ever commented on any of my videos, and I'm sure you find exactly the same thing. They never ask anything new.
Well, the clouds behind the sun thing is just an optical illusion.
Yeah,
of the
exactly.
brightness of the sun. I mean, that one's easy. Sure enough, I've seen the same images, and if you look at it, you go, yeah, the sun almost does look like it's in front of the clouds. But the difference is we know it isn't. So
exactly.
They're throwing away so much information. It's crazy. And then just to say like, they'll drive down the road and they'll go, these fucking scientists. Oh, sorry. They'll say that, these scientists, what do they ever know? Satellites are fake. And then they'll pull over on the side of the road, go, honey, check the GPS. Like, well, that's what they're doing. But they'll go, honey, check the Google Maps, see where we're going.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it says take a left up here. And then they'll go, stupid scientists, what have they ever built for us? And they'll slide their piece of space technology back into their pocket. And then they'll drive away on their on their electric car. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And this
then
is what I
in
mean.
a few years, it'll be.
It's all
Sorry, go ahead.
hypocritical, isn't it? Because they use Google Maps to find where they're going. Google Maps.
Well, they'll use it to prove. They'll use it to prove things. Now, the only thing is, I hate to. This is the thing. This is gonna fuel. No, I'm gonna. Okay, this is the thing, Creaky. I'm gonna drop you guys some information, and this is gonna really expand their horizons on the flat Earth. We're gonna see Jaronism and them talking about this stream tomorrow. If I tell you this.
Do you think?
Most of the actual satellite, quote unquote, images from Google Map are actually airplane images. They do have satellite images, but a lot of them are actually aerial photography, and not satellite. And they call it satellite. And originally, there's an article you can read about it. Originally, there was a big debate over whether or not to call it bird's eye view or something, or bird mode even, or something like that.
So sorry to interrupt you, Brainy, right? But can I just address something that Burnt Toaster said? And because this is where he started with the messages. One of the moderators has deleted the message, but he's talking about that I buy subscribers. Where from?
Yeah, $5, right? That was the $5 I gave for those subscribers, right?
But this is what I find so funny. You know, I'm sure you've seen I shouldn't say I'm sure you've seen, but you may have seen that Simon Dan has been awarded his silver play button from YouTube.
Oh, that's fantastic. I thought I'd saw something about that, but I'll be honest with you, I've been really busy the last week, and was that in the last week, or was that previously? Because I knew it was coming.
I think it was in the middle of last month. But anyway, my point is...
Oh, yeah, so that I saw it, because that seems to ring a bell.
Right, my point is, right, that YouTube have obviously got a very stringent process in place for making sure, before they award somebody a play button, that that's a genuine channel and that it works within the YouTube terms of service. It doesn't do anything that it shouldn't be doing. And people don't think that they would check if the subscribers were real or bought. This is what I mean. This is the stupid mentality of people like Burnt Toast. Because, okay, you can say I buy subscribers if he wants to. I know I don't. And if I did, I would have bought a lot more than 4,000. But people are still saying that Simon Dan has bought subscribers. It's impossible. He's been awarded his silver play button. YouTube wouldn't have given him a play button if... I saw what you just said as well.
What?
Yeah.
You're not stirring the pot? Shut up.
Yeah. He wouldn't have been awarded his play button, would he, if he was buying subscribers? I really don't understand what's wrong with these people. It absolutely baffles me how they can believe that.
Well, there was a document, didn't you see it?
Yeah. I suppose in a way we've probably asked for it, haven't we?
Well, we have now.
Apparently. Yeah.
Apparently sorry about the creaking chair, everybody. I ordered a new one from Amazon. It's not sent yet. It's supposed to be here even by now, I think. So for now, you get to hear creaky, and creaky chair. You know,
creaky black, creaky chair.
That's right, creaky and creaky. Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy stuff. I was actually thrown because I did say, going back to the whole Infinite Plane Society when we were originally doing that.
Yeah.
I was thrown by the fact that he was doing the whole I don't believe it, but by the way, why is this all so believable? And I even called him out on it. He said, well, no, I'm not saying I believe it. It's like, well, you mean you sound like it.
Yeah, but that's exactly the sort of approach that Jaronism's had as well. He says he didn't believe it, but then he kind of believes it, and he even went as far as making a video about it, which to me certainly implies that he believed it. Because otherwise, why would he have made a video about it?
Well, because even if it's he keeps putting insurance little quotes for insurance in there, saying even if it's not true, it just proves how untrustworthy they are.
Yeah.
They're just a terrible bunch of shills. So he's got these little bits in there that he puts in his description to just to make sure that if it's not true and it's all blown right out on him, that he's like, wow, I never fully bought into it.
People are starting to say in the chat now, am I recording in a cave? So I'm guessing that I've gone all echoey again. Yeah, don't you know everybody in Wales lives in a cave?
I'm trying to see what you sound like here. You sound. See, what's funny is you sound great to me. Wow. You might have a problem with OBS. There's a delay feature in OBS.
Yeah, I'm just gonna, while we are shooting the breeze, I'm gonna check my audio settings. My sample rate is 44.1 hertz. Channels are stereo.
And you never have problems with the speakers echoing to you.
No, I didn't last time.
Meets and Hangouts is actually really good at suppressing that sound. For like, it's crazy actually. Like it's good at self suppressing.
Yeah.
I've been pretty impressed by it. See, I paid for Meets. Yeah, and then they raised the price within like a month of me buying. It was like
did they?
$10 or yeah, it was like, what did it cost? $10 a month or something like that, or was I paying? And then now it's like 12 or 13 or something like that. I don't know. It literally went up. Like, it's just coincidental, right? It's got to go up at some point. So
Yeah, everything does.
I got an
doesn't
email.
it? Everything
Yeah,
does.
and I got an email saying it's going up. Yeah, the only thing that hasn't gone up in a couple of years is my wage, but I'm gonna try to change that at some point.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on, I'm getting shill money. Wait,
Yeah, exactly. We don't need real jobs with all this shill money we get. All the
I
money
think
that
I've given-
NASA sends us every month. Why would we need? I just sit in the house all day playing on my computer,
I still haven't.
making
Yeah.
up stories about flat earthers.
I mean, we're making up stories, all right, but like, not making them up. Anyways, you see, I don't know if you saw my video. That guy really loves gardening.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's got a moustache to challenge Red Pill.
When he stroked it so many times, every time he kept. I was watching that once. I was like, as I was making the video, of course, I'm trying to watch it to catch the mustache twirls because I saw there's a few of them. But then once I was actually watching and I saw all the different, like he double fingers it and then takes that hand and switches to the other side of his face and swirls that one. I was like, okay, every one of these has to be a separate mustache on the screen because this is epic. Like even Red Pill, like I'll give it like I think I saw like one mustache twirl, but like this guy was just like this mustache. He wanted to. He wanted everybody to know it was there.
Yeah, he's quite proud of his moustache, isn't he? But the guy in your video yesterday, I'm not sure. You'll have to check yourself.
Well, Ragical did him obviously too.
But I think his moustache has got its own YouTube channel.
It was pretty big, eh?
Yeah,
it was definitely an old '80s cop mustache.
It
what's
was,
funny
yeah.
about that? See, my dad was a cop, and he had one of those mustaches. I mean, it was like a garage, like a garage. Those bristle brushes, like those big,
like a Ned, like a Ned Flanders.
Yeah, exactly. Just like one of those big, like traditional '80s cop, like just like like he was a blue, like he's like a blue whale trying to sift for plankton or something. So of course he doesn't. He's retired these days, but he of course shaved that off at some point and everything. But it was still. I think about that and I'm like, how classic. So then when you watch movies like Super Troopers and stuff, like them all growing their mustaches out and stuff, it's too perfect for me. Yeah.
Right, burnt toast. Yeah, buy burnt toast. We'll still be here when you get back, I'm sure. Burnt toast needs to do summit.
Summit?
Yeah, he's British.
I don't know what that means.
Something.
Summit?
Yeah.
But that's actually like a short. That doesn't seem much shorter.
Yeah, it's just like it's not to make it shorter. It's just kind of type in your own accent, if that makes sense. If I was to type something to you, let me see if I can do it. So, if I was to say to you,
accented you.
What are you talking? There we are in the side chat. I just asked you what you're talking about in a Canadian accent.
Okay, so you're gonna do it in like British now, or like?
It's just kind
like
of
UK
typing in. Canadians. You sort of. Everyone says I've got a weird accent, so you say about. You say a boot. I know it's not quite that pronounced with you.
It's not as bad. Well, East Coasters are the ones that get that.
But it's that situation. That's why he wrote summit. That's probably the way he would say something.
Apparently, I do say about a bit. Like,
You
and
do.
that wasn't that.
You've said it a few
What?
times.
About.
About? What you talking about?
Well, that's okay. Americans have tons of their own things going on, and so does That's,
Yeah, and
that's
I've got to
fun
be
one.
honest, I'm not really in any position to criticize anyone's accent anyway, am I?
A Freddie Mercury mustache like cops have. That's funny. Oh, it's called a. Oh, I didn't know a cock duster. I didn't know what a cock duster was. That's funny. Like a big bristle brush. You can like and rub it along as you go. Oh, I'm getting such a funny image in my head. Oh no, that's right. P Mars is already setting up his live stream. It's like,
Oh, is he?
see all this... Oh no, I'm kidding. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
right.
It's like you should hear all this gay shit going on over here. He's... yeah, that's crazy stuff. The live chat. See, I think you're missing out too, because the side chat's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. I just find I've done my regular thing, and there's a buttload of questions in the Discord. So let's have a quick look at the questions. The first one is for you. Did you show your wife your subscriber count today? I'm sure that must be an inside joke because it means nothing to me.
Well, Ragical, when because we both took off at the same time, kind of. So like I had like, I don't know, I think I had like 8 subscribers or something, or maybe like 12 or something like that, and he had 50 or I don't even remember, 30 something. Yeah. We were maybe it was 30 something and 80 something, but either way, we were sub 100. We were both just nothings, and he'd been doing it a lot longer than me at this point, though. And then all of a sudden, like we rode that Daniel Pratt wave and kind of got a little bit of attention that way and got us started. But so then when we were talking, he'd be like, "It's pretty amazing, isn't it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like, we would always talk to each other. I'd be like, "I'm at this many subs," and he started saying, "Like, did you show your wife your sub count?"
So it's an inside joke. That's why I didn't understand it then.
Yeah, and so of course it always every time he talks to me, he's like, "Hey, what's your wife think of your subs?" And I like one day when like every once in a while, like I was at the hockey game and I was like, I just turned on Discord and sent him a message. I'm like, my wife says my subs are awesome, like kind of thing. So it just became kind of a thing back and forth between us.
Right, what else have we got? Right, the Casual Spaceman has super chatted. Just let me tell everyone that's watching the stream as well. I'm not ignoring the super chats that come through. I'm gonna try and address them all in one go towards the end of the stream, because again, that's another thing that ends up making me appear to be all over the place. So anyway, the Casual Spaceman, Creaky, I can't go a week without your videos. Makes me laugh with the Welsh humour. I'm English, but we're not all perfect. Well, you can't help which side of the bridge you were born. And I know that will mean nothing to anyone other than British people, but I won't hold the fact that you're English against you. Maybe you can help me set up my channel when I'm ready. Keep up the great work. Yeah, if you want any information, you can email me, thecreakyblinder@gmail.com. And if I can help you, I will. What else have we got?
See, I found out that, and forgive me, I don't remember which way this goes, but like sometimes the people in Britain, UK, whatever, they get fairly snippety about whether or not they're British or they're like English, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of,
See, to me, I said, my wife dated a British guy, I guess, like before we were ever together. And I said to her one time, I said something about, oh, he was English, or which one is it, the one that gets almost offended? Is it English or British? It's English, right? The Englishman, like, do they get...
No, it's right, so there's...
She said that one of them will, like, point out that, like, well, hold on.
For example, if somebody was to ask me if I was English, as a patriotic Welshman, that's highly offensive. And it's like when we're away on holiday, on vacation, and in Spain, we'll say, and a Spanish guy will say to me, where in England is Wales? And it's like, dude, it's not in England. Wales is its own country within the British Isles. England isn't Wales. Wales isn't Scotland. Scotland isn't Ireland. It's like, some people will say, oh, Brainy Beaver, yeah, that American guy. because the Canadian and the American accent may kind of sound a little bit similar. It's that sort of situation.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only way you can tell the difference between an American and a Canadian in a lot of cases is just like, do they have something that has a Canadian or American flag on it?
Yeah, or
I
if
mean,
you
because
if you try to listen really closely to what they're talking about.
Yeah, but then again, you know, like you'd have to pick out like creeks and or
Yeah,
was it
it's
cricks,
just
cricks and roughs and stuff like that.
it's
too,
just
on
an
the American,
accent, isn't
right?
it? And it's what differentiates you. But it's that kind of situation, you know, when, you know, if somebody says to you, "Oh, you're American," I'm not saying that that would be offensive to you, but you would more than likely, as a Canadian, want to point out that, in fact, I'm not
Yeah, of
American
course.
at all. I'm Canadian.
Well, and of course, I'm a fairly patriotic
Yeah,
Canadian, so
yeah.
I mean, I would probably very much be like, well, no, I'm Canadian, but like not as a. I mean, I'm happy to be Canadian and not American, but that doesn't mean that I mean it as a slight against Americans.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
that you'd have to pay me a lot of money to make me trade my position.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a good life. You know, it's nice up here. It's cold. That's the only problem. I mean, I'd take some of the warmth. You guys want to send some of that warming this way? We can take it, but apparently with global warming, we're all going to get there anyways.
Yeah,
so,
allegedly
take
so.
our time.
Allegedly. It won't matter where we go. It'll be warm everywhere eventually.
Well, yeah, you know. Hey, listen. You know, we stand to in Canada the whole like when they do those little studies of what they think is going to happen to the water and stuff like that. We apparently stand to do pretty good, but you know that doesn't mean that. I mean, I don't know. We're 36 million people. We try to clean up our act. I'm not going this direction with this conversation. What a boring direction. Sucks. I don't even like where I started going. So that's just
right. We've got some more. We've got a question from. I didn't notice Conspiracy Cats was in the chat. Hello, Conspiracy Cats. How are you, sir?
I had saw him.
See, this is what I mean. I just can't pay attention to two things at the same time.
This is where I'm supposed to gush the wait. Oh my God! The Conspiracy Cats knows my name. Well, actually, I feel like that a little bit, but I'm not gonna.
So, Brainy, if you had to attribute your success so far on YouTube to one other creator, who would it be? Because, and I'm not saying this because he's in the side chat, but for me, it would be two people. It would be Conspiracy Cats and Fight the Flat Earth, because I collaborated with both those guys when I was on less than 50 subscribers, and I've just passed 4,000 now. He was just under 10k when I did my first collaboration with him, which was incidentally my last as well. So I'm not sure it was as beneficial to him as it was to me.
Well, of course. He's out there right now, so now I feel all blushy. I was thinking about whether or not to reach out to some of these people. Eventually, I'm like, I need more subs. I need to have more substance. Beyond that, that's actually a huge opportunity. How did you end up landing that? We were talking about him. He's here watching, so be nice.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it was the greatest opportunity in my life, you see, Beaver. Did he reach out to you, or did you reach out to him? How did that end up happening?
Do you know, I can't remember. I think I may have messaged him and just kind of said hello. And then I think he followed me on Twitter and said that he liked the way my videos looked, I think. And then we kind of started talking, and he asked me if I wanted to do something for one of his videos, if I remember it. Conspiracy Cat, is that how it happened? Or am I making it up? Or did I come begging to you like a little girl, please let me be in one of your videos? I can't remember.
See, now I'm on the spot because I made jokes about it. He said that Brainy Beaver, let's do a collab. I would love to. But, so I'll have to message you or something. That'd be fantastic. Beyond that, what was I going to say? Because I was talking to Marvel Girl about, was it Simon Dan at one point? I can't remember how we got on, but I guess she talks to him occasionally or knows him a bit, or through moderating and all this stuff, or if it's another way. But either way, and she was saying, because we were in a voice chat on Discord, and she was saying like, you just message him, he's really nice. I'm like, no, it's okay, I don't want to. And she's like, just send him a message. And I was doing the whole like girl at a show kind of thing. Like, yeah. No, I couldn't. What would I message him about? Anyways. I mean, let's face it, they get a lot of attention. I try not to bug those people too much because the more subscribers you have, the more, the more. I mean, apparently Simon Dan had to shut off his DMs on. I never sent him a DM once, but apparently he had to shut off his Twitter DMs.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me because there we are. Conspiracy Cats has just answered in the side chat. Yes, he liked my stuff and he asked me to collab, so I'm actually glad I was right. But
and then I just twisted Conspiracy Cat's arm, put him on the spot.
yeah,
He's like,
I made him
guy.
feel so guilty. He had no option other than to say yes.
Well, no, and for me though, I was talking about him, and then he's like, "We should do a collab." It's like, he's just pitying me. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've seen your videos, Conspiracy Cats. I'm a subscriber. I don't think that you seem like a really, really, really friendly person, to be honest with you. So
yes, I've spoken to him many times. He's a really nice guy, and his videos are hysterical. And
he has me laughing. I like
don't
him.
think he realizes how funny he is.
Well, first time I watched him, I didn't know where the like direction for the comedy was going. Like just the different switching between different clips and stuff. But then of course it's like anything. I watched another one and I was like, I got this.
Yeah, this is what I was fearful about when I started uploading videos. Would my humor translate to Canadians, Australians, Americans, and anyone else who chooses it? Would they understand what I was getting at? Does that make sense? Does the humor translate?
Yeah, because everybody's got their own kind of style going on. Your style's, I don't know how to describe it. I'm terrible at this. This is why I don't do so I'm not like a movie reviewer on average, because like I watch other people review things. I'm like, that was a big word. I wouldn't have picked that one. No, I like your style of comedy translates. I mean, you can see on your demographics. How are you doing in North America? Or do you ever look at that?
I do, yeah. I've got more audience in North America than I have in the UK.
Of course, that's a population setup too, right? Because
exactly. That doesn't necessarily mean what it would appear to mean, if you ask me, because North America is gigantic if you place the British Isles alongside it.
Well, everything, yeah, and then just population-wise, I mean, like, I'm not even talking about Canada, because we're, the second or third largest nation in the world, but with, like, one of the smallest populations for that landmass. It's ridiculous. But you look at America, they're also one of the largest land masses in the world. Not as big, but they've got 360 million people, something like that. Somebody probably could correct me in the chat. But I always try to say that to, like, that's kind of one of the things that we all forget a lot of times when we talk about America, is that they are one of the most populated countries in the world too. Yeah. So like whenever I look at my demographics, like it's like anything, I would be stupid to. I don't feel that way anyways, but it would be stupid of me to start going in there and just ripping apart Americans, because there would go my audience. Yeah,
because this is why I've changed my premiere times to 10:30 British time, because it seems to work a little better for the North American audience, because it's a little bit later on in the day and there's more hope of them being able to catch the premiere then. Because what I was finding is when I was premiering...
Your premieres are happening while I was finishing my work day. I know exactly what your problem was, because I'm Central North America. I'm right in the middle.
Yeah.
And so like your premieres would start while I was still like at the, final quarter of my work day.
Yeah. And I've noticed that I was getting kind of between 50 and 80 viewers when I was premiering at 7:30 GM, British time. But now that I've pushed it forward 3 hours, I'm getting sort of double that.
And Conspiracy Cats, I saw your comment. I don't know if you saw mine. I would love to. He'd re-message that again. I would love to do a collab. I will contact you. That would be fantastic. I'm really excited to be in this community. I've been really impressed with the amount of like sharing of just everything, as far as just somebody like Look a Pig jumping on and helping us set up our streams, and then everybody just kind of like sharing advice to each other, and it's a lot more of a friendly environment than obviously the Flat Earth community has been, because they don't help each other at all.
It is. And this is the thing, take for example a live stream like this. The guy's moderating in the side chat now. I've not really. I know Turquoise Laura's there. who else? Radical. Marvel Girl isn't here now, I know, but she usually is. You know, people they're doing it and they get nothing out of it. They don't ask for anything. They don't seem to want anything other than to help.
Yeah,
And you don't
everybody
get
has
that in the
different-
flat Earth community. All you seem to get in the flat Earth community is a load of people. So even though their ideas are completely ridiculous, they can't even agree with each other's ridiculous ideas.
yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And then of course, I mean, the problem is because it's not it's not based on fact. So the thing is, it's like fairy tales. I mean, I don't like to talk about religion too much, but it kind of shares a lot of the same tenets. That's why there's so many different religions.
Yeah.
It kind of just, anyways, it's just, that's kind of the problem with that, is that it's easy. I mean, it's not easy for everybody, but it's easy. I was going to say that when you look at something and say, well, that's round. But it's hard. It's hard when you're doing that with, I kind of lost my train of thought there, to be honest with you. It's derailed so hard. I can feel the train hitting the side of my head. But you get where I was going, I think, ultimately. Because this is the problem with reading the damn side chat. You take your eyes off your thought process for 1 second to read like a Brainy Beaver thing going by, which, don't feel bad about putting that down, people. But yeah, all of a sudden you just like, and then you're like, what was I even thinking about? What were we talking about? Jesus,
I have no idea. I've completely lost my train of thought.
Somebody tell us where to go. Give us a direction.
I'll tell you what we'll do.
Found...
Conspiracy Cat has actually asked a question in the side chat.
That's what
I apologize for how long ago you asked it, but so you can hear me okay, Brainy, yeah?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, cool. So Conspiracy Cat asks, how should schools deal with the children of flat earthers? When we know that children believe their parents over teachers, should their teachers cause friction? And I'm guessing he means between the parent and the child. Fire away.
Don't talking to me about that question then, right?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm the only person here.
Yeah. You answer first. Let's see if our opinions are the same. I'm sure they will be.
I mean, I don't like overriding the parents. If it's something about flat Earth, I don't know. That's a really hard question.
It is a hard question, and I was going to say a very similar thing.
Yeah, like, because I don't want to say that you should be able to just override the parents, because that's never really a great decision, because the parents should have control over what their children are learning and stuff, because where do you draw the line? I mean, it's really not up to the state to decide what you're allowed to teach your kids, although we wouldn't allow them to teach them that drinking cyanide's okay, but I mean, where do we equate those to the same level? Like, is it actually child abuse? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely is going to disservice your children.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be setting them up for, I mean, I say that, but there's people that are flat earthers that have really good jobs.
Yeah.
Like, it's really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I was getting it on Twitter with this, at Tesla at T_S_L_A 2.0 or something.
Yeah.
And he, welcome to the Globe Earth community, also known as reality. Yeah, of course. Right. But he just, I mean, he's an electrical engineer apparently, or something like that. And it's like, I just don't understand how you can actually be educated on things like that. Like, actually have a good understanding of, because electrical physics is not an easy thing. No. I have a 600 volt limited electrical license through my refrigeration stuff. And it's really messed up electricity. It does weird things, and there's a lot of math involved with electricity.
Yeah.
And I find it hard to believe that this person can be so educated that he can have that degree.
Yeah.
And yet he can be so misinformed about the universe he lives in. But then we're getting back into the sickness that is kind of like the conspiracy theorists.
But doesn't that then lead you to think, are they genuinely flat earthers? Because how can somebody possibly be that well educated that they are an engineer and a physicist, any high level job, and then still go on to claim that the earth is flat? How can that possibly be in reality? I mean, so generally
I agree, because how do you draw the line between who's faking and who's not? But I mean, I would almost to say that who's got enough pony in the race that they're making any money.
Yeah.
Like somebody like Red Pill, it's easy to see why Red Pill would keep the facade up. It gets a lot of traction. his channel, Red Pill Philosophy, for instance, his channel was, if you go back and look at his catalog, it was all, well, it was pretty cringy political content. It was all like,
Yeah.
like Kanye West stuff. And you should ask how solar panels work in his view. I'm not sure what that's referencing to, but yeah, his content was all political, and then he suddenly just switched. And I have a feeling like his content was maybe not receiving, or either that or he did a flat Earth video and it was like boom.
Yeah.
And he was like, because like I won't lie, I've been shocked about the kind of growth out of criticizing flat earthers. Maybe the timing was right. I was influenced by a lot of the same people as you.
Yeah.
I never saw Team Skeptic. I was introduced to him. Was it Canadian Thomas actually is the one who came to me and basically said like, hey, you should see Team Skeptic was false copywriter struck and stuff like that. And and that's how I kind of got into it. And then Team Skeptic came and he gave me a chance to be in his collab video that has, of course, everybody in it, which was really cool. And that's kind of how I got started. I've been overly surprised that people have received my content this well. I'll be honest with you. I thought I was going to probably just post a lot of videos and not really get noticed.
Yeah.
That said, YouTube is a funny beast because like you look at what happened to Ragical. Now, he'd been posting since summer and he had a catalog of 20 something vids, I think, or something, 30 vids even almost by time this all happened. And what happened is Ragical posted on the same exact video and Daniel Pratt as I did, and Team Skeptic did, and a bunch of other people did. Yeah. Probably because it looks so ridiculous. The picture was Dan Pratt holding up a piece of paper and pointing at it, and it said like, kindergarten class for globe heads. I'm sure the title stood out to all of us. And then what happened is that created this attention swarm where all the people from his fan base and their fan bases were kind of like pouring over to our channels. Yeah. I mean, I only had literally like 5 or 6 videos. They were nothings. Yeah. And they were my worst work ever, like typical of when you start a channel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it says, if he's an electrical engineer, how does the sun power solar panels being only 3K miles away if it's only a light in the sky? That's a good point. I like the way you asked that. But yeah, so I was posting, I had like 5 videos up, and they were not the greatest videos. They're pretty campy compared to what I'm doing now, which I'm sure what I'm doing now to a lot of people is campy, but whatever. Anyways, I got the attention that came into the channel. All of a sudden, I started getting all these views pouring into the channel, more than you could ever expect off of a channel that I'd only been putting videos on for 3 weeks at that point. And then at that point, Ragical was taking off. I started getting all these subscribers. And so I literally, like, over the Christmas holidays, I was up till like 3 and 4 in the morning doing videos and stuff, trying to punch out a bunch of content so that there was stuff on there. Anyways, so, and what I was getting to is, I guess I'm building towards, is that we could have posted videos for a year or two and not got that kind of attention. It might have slowly built up. Yeah. But then all of a sudden, because we had all the people pouring over from these other channels and they built us up, and they got us watch time, the YouTube algorithm said, hey, there's people watching. Kind of hard to miss Wet Beaver. I never miss a Wet Beaver. But yeah, there's all this watch time. And so the YouTube algorithm just sees the watch time. And it says, hey, people are watching these channels. And then once it did that, it just started showing us to more people. And then all of a sudden you start getting natural growth.
Yeah. I think so. But and what I find as well, and again, this is why I'm so much a fan of doing collaboration videos, because every time I do one, I get a real substantial boost in subscribers. My channel is growing on an average day about anywhere between 20 and 50 subscribers is a good day. Between 10 and 20 is an average day. But then when I do a collaboration video like the one I did with Fight the Flat Earth on Saturday, I jump up a couple of hundred subscribers sort of in 24 to 36 hours. I had been hovering really closely to 4,000 subscribers, and like I say, I did the collaboration with Fight the Flat Earth, he premiered it at midnight GMT, and when I woke up the following morning, I had gained sort of 50 subscribers, and it had tipped me over the 4K mark. You know, so I think there's a lot to be said and a lot of benefits to smaller channels like you and I in doing collaborations. I think it's part of the key to our growth.
Yeah, and even like I mean, anybody, like even Schrodinger. I did that spotlight Schrodinger's cat video with him, and he ended up getting like 20 subs overnight, and he was very happy about that because I mean, it's all about your size, right? He only had 200 subscribers. Well, that's 10%. You know, it's a 10% gain overnight. I mean, he's happy. And of course he'll gain some naturally. They'll kind of filter in out of that, but I mean that's kind of what we're all in for, right? It's the same thing with me. I do something with somebody, I gain 20 or 30 subscribers. I feel pretty good about that. They trickle out in funny ways too, though, eh?
Yeah.
Because like you'll be watching it and you'll be like, what the hell? I went down like 7 subscribers or something like that, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, it takes you 24 hours to go back up, kind of thing, and then you're like, okay, well, away we go again.
Yeah, it's kind of if I pick up, there we are, like with the collaboration video. So on Saturday night I went to bed, I was on like 3,980 subscribers. I got up then Saturday morning, I'm on like 4,020. To me, that's a huge win.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah, absolutely.
But then bigger channels, I'll use Simon Dan as an example again. Because he's
100 in a day.
Yeah, you know,
hundreds in a day.
Yeah, for him to picking up 1,000 subscribers in a day is probably the same as me picking up 50 in a day. It's all.
There's even a YouTuber I watch, Vino from. He does bees and stuff, and he's at 50,000 subscribers. Well, I mean, he's at 45,000 just the other day.
Yeah,
the bee season just started again.
Yeah,
and he's posting again. Well, I mean, just looking right here at his video, it's going to load the Social Blade. He goes up 50, 70 a day on average. Like,
yeah,
you know, that's huge gains.
Yeah, it is. And this is the thing. So, you know, I'm part of
I mean, shit, he's 260 subs today. He went up 109 on average a day. That's ridiculous. That's 1,000 subs every 10 days.
Yeah, and that
in half a month he's gonna pass how many subs I have total. It's crazy.
That's good growth. You know, that's really healthy growth. You know, like well, there we are. I've just opened my Social Blade now, and my daily average is 19, which to me is, you know, that's steady, consistent growth. You know, but then if you compare a channel of my size to a much bigger channel, 19 subscribers they can pick that up in an hour.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I mean, even Skeptic. I mean, Fight the Flat Earth, same thing. They're Fight the Flats catching into that zone right away. They're both in the 8K zone there.
Yeah.
And they can go up 50 just without even posting. I mean, Fight the Flat Earth was having his problems with streaming and stuff, and he was just going up still.
Yeah.
He wasn't even posting on his channel. He was just going up 50. Of course, he was getting attention on other channels. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't hurt to be posting on a channel with 40,000 subscribers.
Oh God, no, absolutely. But this is what I mean about collaborating with larger channels.
Yeah, collaborating. It's fantastic. The fact that Red gave him his channel to use.
Oh God, yeah, that was really, really kind. And again, that just illustrates the difference between our community and the Flat Earth community. Can you imagine any of the Flat Earth channels giving another Flat Earther free use of their channel because there was some issue with their own? I don't think so.
Yeah, but Nathan needs all his channels because when they get shut down, he's got to default to the last one, right?
Yeah,
that's how it works with the Flat Earthers. They're especially if they're truthers, because if they're Flat Earthers, their content's probably fine. But if they're truthers, then you know they might violate terms of service at some point, and they need that fallback channel. You go look at Hans. Everybody in my comments was like, "Why is it Conspiracies by Hans 7?"
Yeah.
I'm like, well, like 1 through 6 have been shut down by YouTube.
I think the only ones that are left open now are 4 and 7.
It was 4, 5, and 7, but they might have smoked 5 now. See, like he opens them as they kill them, and then he loads all the content as fast as he can onto the new channel. And then when they kill it, he does another one. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Doesn't that just seem completely pointless to you, though? Because it just seems like an awful lot of work for not much gain.
But he's truthing it. Come on.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
He's trying to inform everybody.
Well, yeah, if
geez,
it
what
wasn't
else
for
is he
him, I
supposed
would
to do,
never have
Creaky?
found out that Steve Irwin was a transgender. It just... I
Swear to
haven't even
God,
got the words.
if I wanted to cut him for anything, it's that. That's pretty. It's those kinds of people. It's You know what? Actually, the one that made me really mad, and the comment I left was, I don't know if it violates terms of service. Is it okay to tell people that you hope that they're the, like, what did I say to him? He was saying how fake IEDs are, and that anybody who has been struck by one is faking it, and they're lying. And it was very, very insulting to all of the people, the soldiers who have died, the people who are missing limbs all over the planet,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, talking about mines and stuff like that. And I said, you know what? If they're so fake, I just hope you're the next person to step on one of those fake IEDs.
Yeah, I know. And this is the thing, see, and I know I've got a tendency to repeat myself, but I'm gonna do it anyway. And
You get angry like I do. We handle it differently.
Yeah,
right?
I said in the stream that you and I were both involved in, all these people that they allegedly say are crisis actors that have been killed, they've all got families. They were somebody's wife, husband, son, daughter, whatever it may be, and they don't seem to give any consideration for the family of those people. And
but they don't know them, so it can't be real.
Yeah, exactly.
It's part of the conspiracy disease, right?
Yeah, you know, maybe I'm too soft. Maybe I care too much about my family. But I can't think of anything more hurtful than if you lose a relative in a tragic event. I can't think of anything more hurtful than somebody trying to claim that it never happened when you know that you're never going to see your wife or your father or mother or whatever it may be. You know, I don't know. I can't see any logic in it at all. And
But they make movies like this. I mean, just take, you know what I mean? They make movies about people, like, tracking people down and killing them and stuff because of their, you know, they lose their mind after their wife dies and stuff. I mean, some of these people are almost lucky they haven't been on the receiving end of somebody who's really, really, really distraught and upset, like Alex Jones. Like the fact that he was able to say what he said about those children. I'm not even going to say the name of the place, because the algorithm hates that word.
Yeah, I always wanted to make. I try not to even say his name, to be honest. I wanted to make a video.
Well, you could probably say his name. The one I didn't want to say was the SH word, the name of the actual location of the school.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a trigger.
Yeah, no, I wanted to make a video about him, but I was reading an article, and apparently YouTube was systematically removing channels that made a video that related to him in any way. I don't know if it's true or not.
Well, there's a lot of channels that were probably relating to him in positive ways, though. Let's face it. I mean, he's kind of like the messiah for the less educated, if you will.
Yeah. Right, let's go back to some questions because they're starting to build up again.
Okay, let's do this.
Right,
I can see it over here.
What have we got?
I keep forgetting you have this fancy question thing you filled up.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, holy crap.
Some of them end up not being questions, more comments, so... all right, that's not to be read out. P. Smith says, Creaky style is like Blackadder meets Monty Python. No, Creaky style is like Blackadder and Monty Python had a love child. I don't know if that means anything to you. I'm sure you know who Monty Python is, but
I know what Monty Python is, but Blackadder?
Blackadder is Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean.
Okay. Wait, is that a movie, Blackadder?
Yeah, he played Blackadder as well.
I know
yeah.
this, don't I?
It's like a period comedy.
You know what's funny? If I said what's Blackadder to my wife, she'd probably slap me. It's like, because Rowan Atkinson is amazing. Like, I think he's one of the best. Mr. Bean is probably one of my.
Have you seen the Johnny English movies?
Oh, Johnny English! I like at the end when he's making dinner.
Yeah, Johnny English is amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's my go-to movie if I can't think of anything to watch. I'll just watch Johnny English for the...
It's when he's sitting in the chair. It's so Mr. Bean when the chair's going down.
Yeah.
They all look at him and he's like, give me 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, table's at his like neck level.
Right, Michael Dismaither, is it? I'm not sure. Sorry if I've just butchered your name. What is his favourite colour? My favourite colour? Black, because it matches my heart. Leather Elf asks Brainy the soaking wet beaver if he's an electrical engineer. Oh, you've already answered that. See what I mean about how shit I am at this?
Oh, okay. I see. I didn't even see that in the side chat.
Yeah,
Or I didn't see it in the Discord. I saw it in the side chat. Yeah. Well, I didn't know what they were asking originally when they said about the. It's a good point. Although, wouldn't the solar panels work really good if it was 3 kilometers away?
Yeah, they'd get charged quicker. I don't know.
But if it was a light though, see, this is the whole. I think because if they think it's a power source, like if they think it's a light, like it's internally lit, it would be interesting to find out what kind of power source. It's probably got a lot of gerbils running in circles.
Yeah, or a lot of AAA batteries. Can I just ask the chat as well? Has my sound quality improved now? Because I did a little bit of investigation and I had my gain turned up really high, and the volume on my control panel turned down really low. So I'm hoping that I've corrected it now. If not, I'm lost. I have no idea what to do. Because somebody's asked, does my mic have some sort of auto gain or something? Because it seems like every time I lean back, the echo returns. But nobody's mentioned the echo now for about 5 minutes, which was when I corrected it. So,
well, you have a little bit of a like robotic sound when I turn on the live stream. I think everybody's dealing with it. The good news is you're not a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we can do is when we're not on a live stream in the future here, we can try to figure that out.
Yeah, we'll have to do some
I think
internal investigation.
Well, see, what was your problem? Just really quickly, we already went over this, but what was your problem with the headset again? It was just you were having problems getting everything to work properly?
Yeah, because I've got a funny feeling that the headphone jack on my PC may be broken, because when I plugged the headphones in, nobody could hear Radical. When I unplugged them, they could. I forgot that I'd unplugged them and no longer needed to wear them, so I wore them for...
You got a separate mic. You should get a USB headset.
Yeah.
And then the trick I find is make a little hook point. Like I use my mic boom here. Make a little hooking point where you can wrap the wire once or twice so that you don't tug the wire, because that's what kills those.
Yeah.
I mean, you tug on it a bunch of times. You go to like lean back and you actually pull the wire and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want one with a huge wire on it and stuff, but. I mean, it'll affect your look a little bit, but it might help with things like this because. But that's not what's happening. I think it's going internally through your computer.
Yeah, I just need to look into it when I'm not actually live. How many people are watching the live stream at the minute?
145. You're kicking ass right now.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's quite high.
It is pretty good.
What's in my vape? I get asked that every week. I've got blackcurrant this week.
I broke the joke. Somebody's saying I broke the joke. Ragical. I don't know it. Apparently, I broke a joke.
I don't even know what that means.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Off.
No, you didn't cut me off.
I think maybe there was like a running joke about something. I don't know. I might have said something that killed it.
Right.
Sorry.
Kristen Frost laser beams. Here is my question. I just remembered it. Why the heck and how did the P900 get to be the Flurf camera of choice?
Well, it's kind of the price point Flurf camera of choice, isn't it? Because there's actually better, like the Nikon's not even the winner of that field, of my understanding.
I got to be honest, I don't know that much about cameras apart from the camera I own, but the way I understand it is they seem to think it's like the secret weapon of proving flat Earth. And they've all latched onto it, and I'm sure they call us shills. They must be sponsored by that company. That company
Nikon, absolutely. They
has
should wear
to
jackets.
be sending out free P900s to everybody that uploads flat Earth content on YouTube. They have to be. They have to be.
That's actually a really good campaign.
Yeah.
Actually, that's amazing. In fact, I wonder if you could get in trouble for that. Probably not.
If they can call us shells, we'll say that all flat Earth videos are sponsored by the P900. Especially
I think that's
Randy.
an amazing thing. You know what? I think you just made our new video, our next video.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do a whole documentary on how Nikon's working with the flat Earth industry.
Yeah,
we'll do an expose. We'll call Nikon and ask them.
Yeah,
for
like
comments.
a Louis Theroux type expose.
And then when they hang up, it'll be evidence of the conspiracy. I tell you. because they're hiding it. They're hiding. They don't even want to talk about it. You see, the woman didn't even. She acted like she didn't even know what I was talking about.
Yeah. Oh,
A bunch
dear
of
me.
shills, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But that I just find that absolutely hysterical, because do they honestly think that we're getting paid to do this?
Again, that document. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, you saw there was like a Mark Leventhal and everything.
I
Apparently,
know.
that name was. He's in trade, anyways. By the way, that is quite a. See, this is the problem. America's got too many people.
Yeah.
See, because you could have done that in Canada. I swear to God, the odds of you having picked somebody that was in a position of power, like, because the American government, like, for wanting to be small government, is the biggest damn government I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Because they've got so many different departments and everything, and so yeah, like they've got so many people working in different judicial positions that,
Yeah.
like, of course that's what happened. Of course, we're just covering it up, right? See. This is why we're talking about it. Right?
Well, yeah, obviously it's what are they hiding in plain sight?
See, we talked to Furball when this happened because we didn't know when it was going to break. I didn't even know this. Okay, so full disclosure, I would love to claim that I was part of the initial joke. I had no idea this was even occurring, but I was there when it broke. And I was in the Discord, and all of a sudden people were like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Such and such is about to live stream about evidence of, shills being paid. And then that's when all of a sudden all the information came to me about how this document had been dropped and leaked and blah, 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 blah. So, we were there to watch it all go down.
Yeah.
That's why I happened to be available to watch it happen. Yeah, I can't remember where my original point was there, but
No,
see,
you
ADHD
seem
hard
to
at work.
work in exactly the same way as me. You'll say something and then get to the end of it, and you can't even remember why you were saying it.
That's the spectrum of the ADHD.
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually
exactly
am
the same.
diagnosed ADHD, so that part I'm not making.
I can be sat in my living room, and I think I just need to pop into the kitchen, which is 15
that all
feet
the
away.
time, yeah.
I get into the kitchen, and I just kind of stand there wondering why I'm there.
And you have to and
Yeah.
eventually you're like, God damn it!
I have to
gonna
go back
all the
in
way
and
back
say,
downstairs.
"Excuse
and then
me,
I'm gonna sit
Mrs.
down.
Excuse me, Mrs. Blinder. Can you remind me why I went to the kitchen?" Honestly, my memory is absolutely awful. Absolutely awful.
I have to trudge my way downstairs and then into the basement, sit down, and then you'll sit there, you look around, you look to your right and you'll see your empty cup. You go, damn it, it was a drink or
That's
whatever
why I
the
went.
reason you left for was.
My memory's got so bad I have to leave a trail of breadcrumbs when I drive to work so that I can find my way home at the end of the day.
That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm see, I had to learn to put things in specific spots. Like I'll put my wallet somewhere stupid and then I'll pick it back up going, no. That's not going to work for you. You're going to forget it's there. And then I have to learn to do that because otherwise, I'll lose everything. My wife will clean up my desk. It's not a good sign.
Yeah, I know my wife does that for me as well. I'll come home from work some days and my wife will say, "I've cleaned your room today." Thank you.
No.
Thank you, love.
You go in there and you look around, you go, where is it all? I don't even know. And then, hey, you know that thing that with the green on the top? I didn't see it. Sure you didn't. So it was there until you cleaned my room, but you didn't touch it.
Yeah.
And then she's we call it the black hole, and I swear to God, one of these days we're gonna open some sort of cupboard somewhere, and out's gonna come all kinds of shit. Because there's she cleans up, and we bought a brand new. This story is repeatable with everything.
Yeah.
We bought a brand new. So he said, check the Discord. I will. We bought a brand new stud finder. It kept going off in my pocket, so I had to throw it on the counter for a while. Haha, bada bing, But anyways, it was brand new. I swear to God, it was in box still, and I don't think I needed it that weekend. And then she cleaned. It's never been seen again. I mean, literally, it's in the original box it was bought in. It's never been used once. It's a brand new stud finder. It was a nice one too. I paid a couple extra bucks, got one with a level on it and stuff. And I've never seen it since. And we're talking 2 years.
Yeah.
And we've lived in the same house. I've cleaned this house multiple times. I just don't know where that stud finder could be.
See, now my wife, she will clean things up for me, but she doesn't watch me on YouTube, so she won't see it. She's amazing. I can say to I could call downstairs to my wife now and say, where is my spare webcam? I have no idea. It could be anywhere. It could be anywhere in Wales for all I know, and my wife will be able to find it for me within
No, that's yeah. Don't get me
30
wrong.
seconds.
Yeah, when she's cleaning, that's what happens. But then with anything else, it seems like if it wasn't like a cleaning kind of thing, it'll be like, hey, do you know what happened to this? And she'll find it, and then she'll criticize me for not looking first.
Yeah.
But then I'll go, yeah, but you knew where it was like right away, like, and that's why I ask you. Yeah, but you should have looked. It's like, yeah, but I just had to verbally ask you. And you knew where it was. It just seems like to me it's like a lot of extra effort if I know my wife's gonna know where it is in some cases. But then she doesn't whenever it's like really important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be criticizing like that. She's actually really fantastic because I couldn't do the things I'm doing if she wasn't the person she is. Because, like, for instance, right now, and I don't know, your system might be fairly similar right now, but right now, Mrs. Beaver's upstairs, taking care of the kids. So if you hear like a loud bang every once in a while, that's literally like a golf ball or something dropping on the kitchen floor upstairs and rolling around as the, our 2-year-old runs around and, kids.
Oh, you've got your children are that young, are they?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm in the middle of that kind of stage of my life. That's why I'd like to be putting out more content than I'm doing. I'm only really getting one video a week right now.
It's difficult.
It's difficult. They're really young, and as they get a little older, of course, I don't want to rush that either, because of course this is such a, she's just turned 2 literally like a week or 2 ago.
Yeah.
And he just turned 5, so he's learning to play on the Wii, and you got to help a lot because they don't know what they're doing, right? So you got to, like, Dad, I can't do this, and then he's frustration, all that stuff. So you're dealing with all, and it's like with kids, especially when they're really young, like, it's almost like you can go in reverse. It's so impacting to your progress.
Yeah. The funny thing is though, and this is such an old man thing to say, but
time flies and all that stuff, and then you wish you had it back.
You blink. I've got 3 sons, 27, 22, and the baby. Now the baby is just about to turn 16, and I literally feel like we left the hospital a couple of weeks ago after him being born. Time literally flies by.
How old are you, Creaky? Do you mind me asking?
46.
So yeah, that's about right then, because that would put you 13 years ahead of me, and then that would put your baby literally 14 years. So I mean, that's exactly my story right there. My little girl will be 16 years old and everything, and she'll be bringing bad boys home that it's like leather jackets, and I'll be telling her what a bad person he is for her, and she'll be going, "You don't know, Daddy, he's deep, I love him," that whole thing. This is why we feel quite lucky, Mrs. Blinder and I, that we've got sons, because I think it's if you've got children, you worry about them. That's just being a parent. Yeah. But I think it's maybe more difficult if you've got daughters. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm told it is. Like, you worry about them a little bit more. She's so young right now, it's hard for me to equate the problems of a young adult, of an older teenage girl or middle-aged teenage girl, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to equate those problems. I mean, I can only go from my perspective, and I know that I was chasing everything around me, and that's typically why we tend to not like our daughter's boyfriends.
Yeah.
Because we just know what we were up to. Now, I think I was a good person. I don't think I ever wanted to hurt the girls I was with or anything like that. No. But that doesn't change the fact that I was still a boy doing everything I could to, do what boys want to do. So, I can respect the fact that, in the eyes of a father, I wasn't exactly their favorite person, because they remember, because the chain just keeps going. They remember what they were doing. And it was the same story.
Yeah.
And it repeats itself forever. And that the last one remembered what he was doing. And so we all just don't like the next one. And there's a difference between my high school girlfriend's dad was never Like they were never bad to me, but they were never just like really good to me.
Yeah.
Like whereas
yeah.
my parents have always been really good to any of my girlfriends that I've brought home and stuff like that. But that might be kind of like fairly common. I don't know. I've only had my experience, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I know that typically if I had to choose, I mean, you always feel a little tense as the boyfriend around the girl's parents, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
oh God. Yeah.
you
yeah,
probably
yeah.
remember what it was like.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is as well, though, you know, it's I think it. I know I said I think it's more stressful if you've got girls, and I hold by that. I think it is, but then when you've got sons, you know, you kind of, you know, like I say, my oldest son is 27, but we worry about him as much now, and he's a grown man, as we did when he was 5 years old. You know,
See, and that's the part I'm not at yet because, of course, my kids are young, and of course I look after them and I take care of them and I care about them. But that's the thing that they always tell you is that you never stop. I mean, as long as you're
you
good
don't.
people, obviously, and you care about your kids. But
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I kind of find myself now saying real kind of dad things. You know that, and what I mean is, you know, like I'm a biker. My eldest son is a biker as well. You know, we both ride. And even though I ride a bike on the road and I know it's dangerous and I know how careful you've got to be, you know, when I know that my son is out riding and I'm not with him, I can't relax until he tells me, yeah, I'm home now, Dad, and I'm fine. Everything was cool.
my dad, because of my ADHD and my compulsiveness, and he was a cop too, so he saw a lot of bad shit happen to people on bikes. And of course, you don't have a roll bar, you don't have a structure around you. Like accidents are bad enough when you're future bad boys, the tunnel snakes from Fallout. That's funny. It's bad enough accidents when you're jaws of lifing people out of this thing that's made to take an accident, but when you put somebody on a little crotch rocket and they're just flying through the air like Superman, it really gets really bad really quickly.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even the most minor of accidents on a motorbike can turn into like fighting for your life because the car ran you over while it was sliding.
Yeah, absolutely. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. I love it, but I'm also aware.
Yeah. I think it would be fantastic, the feeling of the wind through your face and like, you know, I don't know if you even have to wear helmets in the province. I mean, maybe now. I know that you didn't originally. I don't drive a bike, so I don't really care. Yeah. You never used to have to. And you could like wind in your hair and everything. I get the allure of that, but then when shit goes sour, you are just a piece of meat flying across a piece of concrete, or like asphalt.
Absolutely.
It's not great.
Absolutely, you've got to be.
And people are never
the
same. And people are never the same. Even if you get people that like, oh, you know, they get back on the bike and they end up being a biker, but a lot of people like, you know, he has that limp permanently, and like. I've seen people that have had their bike accidents, and I don't think I know a single. I've seen 2 or 3 people have serious accidents on bikes, and I don't know a single one of them that doesn't have some sort of lasting effect from that bike accident.
Yeah. Well, my brother is a traffic police officer, and his first fatality was a motorcyclist. Now, the area he lives in is quite a rural area. And this guy, like you say, he was on a crotch rocket, and they got the call. They went to the scene. The guy was on the floor. My brother said you could clearly see that he was dead. You didn't need to feel his pulse, nothing. You knew he was dead. So they did the checks. Yeah, the guy was dead. So they had to look for ID because he was on his own. So they unzipped his leathers to find his ID. And the guy, he was basically cut in half inside his leathers. And when they rolled him to see if there was any idea on the back, he had hit a hay trailer on a tractor, and it had basically sliced him in half. If he hadn't had leathers on, he would have been 2 pieces of meat on the road, as you say.
Yeah, and my dad told me, like, for instance, and he said it doesn't even have to be your fault.
No.
Like, for instance, in one of the accidents, this guy survived, but he probably was like never the same again.
Yeah.
My dad told me an older woman was rounding a big corner on the highway, and she was going wide, and of course the cyclist is coming along, and he's kind of cutting in on, like, he's not in her lane, but he's cutting tight on the inside of the corner.
Yeah.
You know, and she's cutting wide out into his lane. Well, by time he realized that she was well into his lane, of course, he's bombing along, she's bombing along, highway speed, and there's no time to react, and he strikes the vehicle, and this is the part that my dad told me that he was driving to the guy went in an ambulance to the hospital, and my dad followed the ambulance to the hospital after a minute behind it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my dad, in an evidence bag on the passenger seat, had the guy's femur.
Yeah.
Like his full femur bone was sitting in a bag, like intact on my dad's passenger seat, all bloody, covered in blood, like sitting on the seat. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He said it ripped it right out of his leg and it was stuck in her grill.
Yeah.
And he said he had to put the gloves on, grab the femur, pull it out of the grill, and like put it in a bag and drive it to the hospital so they could put the femur back in.
Yeah. And
I was like, that is disgusting.
And can you imagine anybody
it would
ever...
be like Jello.
Yeah. Can you imagine anybody ever being completely normal again after an accident like that?
Oh no, that's the thing.
Absolutely no way.
That's a guy who's got like a fuse. They've pinned it.
Yeah.
He's walking like what is it? Do you ever watch King of the Hill? The dad in King of the Hill.
Yeah. That's a life-changing injury.
Fuck, you know what? I have to say this because it popped in, and I said King of the Hill. Anybody who watches King of the Hill, I wasn't a huge fan, but the funniest thing I ever saw in King of the Hill was when he was trying to get his dad a job, and his dad's at an interview, and he says, and he's doing the interview, and like, oh, this would be fantastic. We love to take veterans on, and blah, 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 and everything. Chris's dad, I don't know if you remember that show. His dad was really crass. And he goes, well, that's fantastic. He goes, what do we do? What do we do here? And he goes, oh, we remove asbestos from old buildings. And he fucking loses it. He goes, what? I spent 30 years putting that asbestos in them walls. He gets all upset. They have to drag him out of the building and everything. He doesn't get the job. Anyway, sorry, that's how my ADHD mind works. King of the Hill popped in. I had to share that.
People are still saying there's echo in the chat. This is getting on my nerves now. I don't know why. I'm not touching anything. I've not changed anything. I've not done anything. But anyway, somebody has asked in the chat what bike I ride. I ride a Vulcan VN 900 with ape hangers and pannier bags, a proper Sons of Anarchy style sort of bike, but I'm too poor to buy a Harley Davidson. But interestingly enough, as I said, my son rides as well. He does have a Harley Davidson, but Dad's too poor to buy one.
That's funny. My dad had a Harley. I think he had a cheap one though. He wasn't gonna buy one of those massive. But he wouldn't get me a dirt bike or anything for that reason. He'd be like, no, you need a roll bar, you need a roll cage.
Yeah, no, my son's love of bikes is my fault entirely. When he was 2 years old, I bought him his first little sort of mini kids bike, and yeah.
You know, somebody said, like William Signs there said, how did your dad stay sane? You know, back I'm from a small town in the bushes, and you know, we were 4 hours in one direction from a major city, and then 4 hours in another direction from not a major city but a city. You know, everything in my life had to be ordered in off the internet and stuff once the internet was kind of more of a thing and stuff. So when it comes to how did he stay sane, when it comes to being a cop in the bushes, I think they had a lot of fun back then, because you got to remember, this was a time before they had, I don't mean fun like illegal fun. Like, what I mean by that is, like, see, nowadays, like, if you want to go use the company cruiser, you'd probably have like a key card, you sign it out and get the keys, and it registers that you are taking this vehicle and driving it. And, you know, the vehicle's got a GPS in it. They know exactly where it is at all times. Like, they can't even radio. See, back in the day, they could just talk to each other on the radio and stuff like that and shoot the shit while they were doing nothing during their shifts and trying to catch speeders and stuff. But, you know, over time, like, that clutters up the airways, right? So, like, protocols all come in. So eventually now, you know, they have to press a button, request talking, and it's just talking to, you know, directly to the office. There's no just shoot the shit between. I mean, shit, my dad used to tell me how at the night, because, you know, you get bounces off the dome, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can get like signals bouncing off the atmosphere. And so at night, on clear nights, he said they'd talk to Texas.
Is it?
You know, they would. Yeah, he said they'd sit there and chat with Texas. You can even see it in the movie Contact, at the beginning of the movie in Contact.
Yeah.
Where she has her tower, and she's like doing the whole like line, you know, like the little like red lines from where she is to like where she's contacted. And she goes, oh, that's the farthest we've ever gone. And she's like halfway across North America. You can totally do that. In fact, growing up in, and I'm not in the Arctic. I'm from 2 hours from the U.S. border, But growing up there, you could turn on your radio, and on a cold, cool, beautiful blue, like clear crystal night in the winter, especially summer seems like, I think there's more moisture in the air. It seems to be heavier, the air, but in the winter it's all dry. And so what ends up happening is you can get these reflections of radio stations off of the atmosphere, and you can literally tune into like radio stations from like, you know, I mean, one time I was listening to LA. I was listening to like the countdown in LA, and I mean like usually it's not clear. Like, you know, you stop your vehicle somewhere and you're like, whoa, listen what we're catching. But no, this was like, I was like cruising around listening to the countdown in LA because it was bouncing off of the atmosphere, and I was just picking it up in my vehicle. And I remember, because that is not a radio station we have in the bushes, and it was like they were giving me like local LA news, and this is before satellite radio and stuff. If you're from Canada, you're from the Arctic. Well, I mean, I'm from 2 hours north of Fargo, or like, you know, ultimately from like Minnesota. So that's fairly Arctic to Americans. But yeah, no, we would pick up radio stations in the middle of the night, and my dad would tell me they would be shooting the shit. And of course, so him and his buddies would be just talking. But the problem was that Texas was also picking up their radio chatter. So he said that Texas, of course, he said, we're in the middle of frigging nowhere. He said, we're not dealing with murders and stuff. He said, and first of all, the murder per capita in Canada is way lower than America anyways. But even then, it was a small town, 6,000 people. And he said, like, they'd be listening to like Houston. And he said, of course, it's a big city. So he said that one time they didn't know that Texas could hear them, because sometimes you get one way and sometimes it doesn't work back. And it's always weird back then, right? But he said one time they were chatting, and the guys in Texas couldn't hear each other when they were trying to talk. And they had like a murder. They were chasing somebody or something. And they finally came back on the radio, and they're like, shut up, Canada. We try to talk. Because they couldn't communicate. And so they told them to like, shut up. We're trying to like, and they knew it was them. And he said later they instituted, because they were all talking back and forth, they actually instituted like police policies in the station. Like, you're not allowed to like, you know, you're cluttering up the airwaves. You're not supposed to talk to them and stuff like that. And they kind of like gave them, you know, like rules. Yeah. He said, so then it turned into like having conversations back and forth with your other partner, like about the people in Texas and stuff like that. So that you could still, he said they could still have some fun bits, you know, talking back and forth to them without actually like talking directly to them and getting in trouble. But and then just to finish this whole thing off of what they used to get away with, you know, like my dad's told me stories about like, you know, they got a brand new like 4x4, you know, like some sort of like SUV off-road Chevy or Ford, whatever. And, you know, like winch on the front, mud tires, like this thing's for in case we got to go into the bushes and get somebody or kind of thing. And then, of course, there was no, you know, nowadays, again, you'd have to like log it out. Where are you going? What are you using it for? Probably, right? But back then it was just like everybody looked at each other and you just raced for the keys. Like, who can get the keys first for the shift? Like, and he said like they took it out to the bushes. They buried it right down to the running boards. He said they broke the winch trying to get it out and everything. And then at the end of the shift, they just like parked it in the bay. Like,
and hope nobody would find out.
Walked away and like turned off the lights in the garage, and we're like, well. And he said like next shift they're out there, and the, you know, sergeant's got them all there, and he's giving them shit, going like, you know, like, who the fuck broke the brand new vehicle's winch? And it's like, come on, fess up, you know. And everybody's looking at each other like nobody wants to tell on each other and stuff. Of course, you'd never get away with that nowadays. No. They would know that you took the vehicle out, you broke it. Here's where your GPS was. You were out here for 3 hours, stuck clearly.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, in the UK, most, you know, even small companies like a small plumbing company, let's say they've got 5 guys out in vans going to people's homes and doing work for them. Even small companies like that have GPS trackers on the vans now, so that they know that the guys they are paying.
My van has a GPS, and in fact, I log in on my phone too. Like, when I go to work, I log in on my phone, and it's like, you know, checking in. I'm just realizing I don't know where my phone is. Yeah, it's just to make sure. I log in on my phone, and of course that way I can take coffee breaks, and they know that I'm on site and stuff. Which I mean, I'm on site. I don't care. But but the thing is, like, at another company I worked at, the guys were doing donuts in the winter. They had the van out in this, I guess it has a gigantic parking lot where they were working, and they were just spinning circles on their lunch break out in the parking lot, just spinning in circles. Yeah. And so finally, the manager of the building called called the company up and said, you guys are just out there in the parking lot just spinning circles, right? Like doing donuts. And of course they weren't too happy about that. So then when they called him in, he's like, they're like, you were doing donuts in the parking lot. He's like, no, I wasn't. And the guy, apparently, I heard this from somebody who was like right near the office when it happened. Apparently, he like grabs the monitor and turns the monitor towards him, and all you can see is like red swirls. It's just like it's like Google Map with a parking lot full of like twirl, like a red circle, because of course it draws the line, his guideline, right? So it's just like, and of course there's G-force sensors and everything because it'll detect accidents.
Yeah.
So of course it's like if you start like fishtailing left and right, it's like G-force left, G-force right, G-force left, G-force right. One time they changed the speed limit on me at the company I worked at. This was really stupid though. They changed the speed limit, but like the municipality didn't like officially change the speed limit. They just ripped out the 50 and put in a 70. And this kilometers, everybody. So then I was like, or was it a 90? I think it went to like 90. They literally put in a 90. They pulled it a 50 and put in a 90, which is like full highway speed almost.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so of course I started barreling to the zone at 90 and then slowing down to the stop at the end of it and accelerating at up to 90 on the way out. Well, both sides were 50s. So then they could call me in and they're like, you get like 30, you got like 50, 30 overs in a week. And I'm like, okay, well, last time you called me in or you told me I wasn't speeding. So clearly something's changed. And then they started giving me shit about my speeding. And they wouldn't look on the computer where they were all happening. They're like, well, I have to like dig through the file. I'm like, hey, listen. You're going to call me in here and give me shit about this. We kind of need to suss out your end of it, don't we?
Yeah, that's because they just looking to see what the computer. There we are. I used to be a sales guy for a large soft drinks company, and we had company vehicles, and they all had GPS trackers on them. So I was off work for a week, and my company vehicle. Now I live in South Wales. My company vehicle was parked in London. So when I went back to work, the office called me to ask me, or question me rather, about why my company vehicle, which was provided to me to go out and sell their products, had been parked for a week. And I said to them, well, I was
Vacation.
I was in London. You know I don't live in London. Take a guess. But all they saw was that my car hadn't moved. They didn't factor in that it was over 200 miles away from my home. They just cared that my car hadn't moved, and they gave me that car to go out and sell their product. So it's a similar sort of thing. They only skim the surface of the information, and they don't bother to
They
look
didn't look into it at all.
Yeah, they don't look into it to see why it may or may not have moved. Same thing
And
with
this
you
wasn't
with the
even a
speeding
massive
thing.
company. It was big enough that I mean, it wasn't so big that he couldn't have looked. He was being lazy. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you can't really haul me in here and rake me over the coals about my speeding when you don't even know where I'm speeding. I mean, wouldn't it be great if you'd tell me? Because I'm like, I don't know where I'm doing 50, 30 overs in a week. So it'd be nice if you could tell me.
Yeah. It's like that talk, isn't it? When you get pulled over by the police and the officer will ask you, do you know how fast you were going? It's like, well, you tell me. You were the one trying to keep up.
That's kind of part of the game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you fess up to doing 20 over, that's what the ticket's going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Because years ago, if you got a speeding ticket, and I'm sure it's the same in Canada, but years ago, if you got a speeding ticket, it was fair enough because the police had seen you speed, they had pursued you, pulled you over, and you just had to hold your hands up. Yeah, okay, you've caught me. But now you can speed.
Well, you're talking about all these photo raiders. You guys are covered in them too.
You can speed, know nothing about it. You can be sat at home on a Friday night, and you'll get an email or a letter dropped through your letterbox, and you've got 3 penalty points on your license and £100 fine, and you don't even remember really doing it.
They've been really bad here because the problem here too is it's almost the provincial government was NDP, which is kind of like very social. They believe in like, giving a fish to everybody and taking it from the rich kind of thing.
Yeah.
A little bit more than the other parties do, which I'm fine with to a degree. The problem is that they're supposed to be the People's Party. And meanwhile, they'd been in power for so many years in this province that they started getting greedier and greedier. And then Photo Radar started existing. And so they started making so much money off of Photo Radar that Like it was literally tons and like tens of millions of dollars a year in photo radar ticketing, and
Yeah.
we're a tiny province,
Yeah.
like population wise. And so they started modifying the rules of the Highway Traffic Act for the province.
Yeah.
So like it used to be like construction zones, like you get double fines. You get double fines if you were speeding in a construction zone while workers were present. So the first thing, scrap that. Double fines all the time. And then they were parking the photo radars there, and the sign still said when workers present. So people were driving faster, even especially if they're not from the province, and they were driving through at full speed and getting double tickets. Well, the tickets in this province are already more than double that of all the adjacent provinces. So they're doubling a double ticket. So they're basically, the ticket is like quadruple what you'd pay in any other province. So we're talking like $500-$600 fines for like going 20 something over, like kilometers. Oh yeah, we're talking massive effing fines. So then they got in trouble. They had to throw away all the people that already paid their fines, had essentially pled guilty, and they were screwed. But anybody who decided to fight it and wasn't paying it and got into this class action thing, they had to scrap like $10 million worth of fines because they were handed out illegally because the signs all said when workers present. So then they had to like buy all new road signs. And at first they started just taping over the when workers present with duct tape.
Yeah.
And then so they changed all the road signs, and then they started modifying. So it used to be that when the construction ended, you had to have the end construction road signs had to be within 100 yards of the end of the construction, and then they made it like 200 yards, and then they made it 500 yards, and then they made it like indefinite. So they essentially, there's actually no requirement in the law now that they have to have an end construction sign. So then what they do is essentially you never leave the construction zone. So a cop could ticket you 5 miles down the road and be like, well, you passed a construction sign back there.
Really?
And be like, well, I not, there's no pylons, I'm clearly not in it. Well, but yeah, you are. I mean, it never ended. Did you see an end construction zone sign? So they essentially have carte blanche or whatever to do whatever they want with regards to ticketing you. Now, they haven't been ticketing like that, but in the city is a different story. In the city of Winnipeg, the city runs, there's no photo radar program in the rest of the province, so it hasn't been a problem. Cop has to pull you over.
Yeah.
But in the city, it's all photo radar, and they park those things everywhere, and they're using lasers. So what they do is they park there, and they watch you into the distance, and as they'll know that like the sign's 105 yards in front of them, and they'll watch you like through, like it's literally like they got a set of like thing they stick their head up into, and they watch you, and it locks onto the car, and it gives them a readout of how fast you're going and your distance. And I honestly think it's like a lock-on reticle thing, and it basically tells them if you hit that speed, and I think things go red, and they literally just pull a trigger.
Yeah.
And so if you hit, and so all the tickets everybody was getting, they're like the one ticket I got at the company I worked at was like $450 for like 12 over kilometers, not miles, everybody.
God.
And it was like I was like 98 meters away from the thing receding into the distance. So what does that tell you? That tells you that I had gone through the construction zone and I was proceeding out of the construction zone. And yes, before everybody puts it in the live chat, you technically are not in the next speed until you pass the sign. And yes, everybody gets that. But I mean, the construction was like 200 yards behind me. I mean, there's not even a pylon at that point, and you're doing what every human being does, where you start accelerating into the normal traffic again, and they're targeting people like that. School zones, they purposely extended the school zones and made them go like blocks past the school. Like they literally in some places go like hundreds of yards past the school, and that's where the photo radar is. It's not parked by the school, because why would it be parked by the school where kids are, right? No, they park it 2 blocks past the school when you're leaving, so they catch you accelerating out of the school zone. And it's all kind of, and I even know somebody down the road that worked for the school in the some sort of like division of the school. And I asked him, I said, it's a big racket, isn't it? He said, of course it is. He said, why do you think there's school zone streets that aren't even adjacent to schools? They even made it a school zone double finable spot in front of it's highway robbery, bing, in front of an administrative building, because it's an administrative building for the elementary schools, and they made it a school zone. And then they parked the photo radar there. There's not a kid in the entire building. The building's full of adults.
Yeah. So, you know, in the UK, a speeding ticket is a speeding ticket, unless it gets to the extreme, like 100 mile per hour plus. Then it's a different story. Then it's kind of, they suspend your license and you know, and that kind of thing.
This
But
is the normal. This is just our province's prices for its speeding tickets.
so it
Speeding
varies.
ticket's a speeding ticket everywhere. It's just not a national setup.
Hmm.
Sorry, go ahead. You're saying you have a national setup for your ticket prices and stuff.
Yeah, so it's kind of, if you get pulled over for speeding, I think it's £60. And if the police officer is feeling particularly spiteful, he can give you 3 penalty points on your license.
So it doesn't matter where. It doesn't matter where in England or the UK that you are. That's how it works.
That's how it works. And
Interesting.
once you get 12 penalty points, so you can speed 4 times. They will. So I get caught speeding tomorrow. I get a £60 fine, 3 penalty points on my license, and then those penalty points sit there for, I believe it's 5 years.
But that would be the same for you and Craig. If you and Fight got the same ticket, it would be the same ticket, for both. Yeah.
But you can only have 12 points on your license at the same time. So if you speed 4 times within 5 years and you get 12 points on your license, they suspend your license.
See, I guess what you got to remember about Canada, and this is probably why we differ. So we're actually a little bit more like the States in this way. Canada's a federation, right? So we're actually an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different provinces that were kind of acting like their own states that decided to work as one. Yeah. So, which is a little bit more akin to the way America formed, where you had a bunch of individual states that decided to become the United States, right? Because of that, we still have our old systems are in place where every province is kind of ran on its own, like it's its own. And then what we have is the system of equalization payments. So what happens is we have what we call them haves and have-not provinces. So I live in a have-not province, low population, considered lower income province. You get Ontario used to be a have province, but they're kind of a have-not province right now just because of the way the economy in manufacturing works. But it changes every year anyway. So they assess which provinces are doing well, which provinces aren't doing well. Sometimes that's based on natural resources that are being exploited, blah, blah, blah. But then what they do is they have the system where they claw. Now, some of the states, the provinces like Alberta doesn't really like it because it takes their oil money. And they think that, Alberta should just have gold-plated streets and the rest of the country should just fucking die, I guess. But whatever. We're not getting into that kind of discussion as well. But either way, it tends to take money away from like oil-rich provinces and distribute it to the other provinces. But, that's kind of like, that's how we equalize the provinces. That's how we try to make sure that all Canadians have a similar standard of living. Yeah, you'll still have people that make more money in some places than others because that's just the way the world works. Yeah. But we try to make sure that the hospitals are maintained in each province and that the roads are paved and that the provinces can all be successful operating provinces. And so that just means giving money from some of the better run provinces to some of the weaker provinces. Anyway, so that's kind of how our system works. But like when it comes to like car insurance, every province has got its own setup. Like where I live, absolutely. Where I live, it's public insurance. So basically, like we are the insurance, so they give it to us at cost. But basically, like I don't get a ton of options for my insurance. Like I get to pick deductible level. I pick the highest. There's a couple options for glass coverage and rental car and a few things like that. But beyond that, it's fairly standardized. MPI pays fairly well, and they even got like they were sitting on a few $1 billion at one point. They got audited by the government here. Yeah. And they found out that they were sitting on like $4.5 billion of funds, and they said, whoa, $4.5 billion. You don't need that. There's only like 1.2 million people in this province. Yeah. And they're like, well, that's our slush fund. That's our reserve fund in case we need it. And they go, you don't need $4.5 billion. You can keep like they said you can keep like 1.5 of it. So then they made the Crown Corporation give back to the people of the province the money that they'd been overcharging us because they're not supposed to make money. They're a public utility. So
in the UK,
we literally got checks back.
Insurance is a huge racket. There's no
but hold on, but that's this province. Yeah. So now this province and BC, and probably a couple others, but I don't know all of them. But this province and BC, for instance, have public insurance where it's the government does the insurance. Yeah. but they also it's become a bit of an empire for them too, right? Like when your car, like I had my car get hydro locked because water on the road, and all of a sudden your car is towed to one of their facilities. They have their roadman look at it, and then they go, okay, tow it to the dealership, and they tow it to the dealership, and then you get a call from the dealership, and they say, okay, well, blah, blah, blah. They told us to pull the engine out of the car. And so they're kind of like your insurance company just takes over at that point and just does everything.
Yeah.
The only problem I had is when there was like 2,000 cars that they don't move as quick sometimes as private insurance does. So, when there's only a few cars, but if you have one of these big weather events, they moved a little slower than private would have. I know that in private, they would have moved a lot quicker because I would have said, well, you know what? Thanks for fixing my car. And I'm going to take my business elsewhere now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't get an option for taking my business elsewhere. Now, that said, the insurance is really good here. I mean, it costs me like $90 a year for rental car coverage in case I'm in an accident. And, the deductible's good. They cover almost everything. There's not a lot of, it's not like, you have to add every little individual thing. They cover most of the things. But then if you go to like Alberta, Ontario, all these provinces, it's all private, right? So you're back to like going on and like searching Geico and, looking for like, those websites that search all the different sites and tell you the different prices you get for insurance. And it's back to that whole racket, right?
Yeah.
So, and then here, for instance, I actually like the way, I'll give you one last thing here about it. The one thing I like here with it being a public, I know Americans aren't as big fan of public, like social systems like that. But I'll tell you, I don't pay any more or any less than the other provinces I've lived in. I've lived in Alberta and Ontario and Manitoba, and I've never paid. I pay about the same with my public insurance that I pay with my private insurance, and so beyond that. Where I was going to go with that was that, I lost my train of thought. That's how fucking quick that happens. There was, I don't even know. It doesn't matter. All I was going to try to build towards is that, I don't even know where I went. We have a social, like in the province I live is very social. We have a social utility too. Like I don't get charged more than it costs to generate my electricity.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, my electricity, they sell a ton of it to America, and my electricity goes down and up 4 times a year. So I get a little slip in with my utility bill, and it'll tell me what my rate for electricity is and what my rate for gas is. Question: where does the name Brainy Beaver come from? Does he have a pet beaver or something? No, it just was like, it was the whole flat Earth debate thing. I was trying to find a name that kind of went along with, educating people. I probably wouldn't pick Brainy Beaver if I redid it, but it is what it is now. I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah, I think once your channel gains a little traction, you're just kind of stuck.
Yeah, I'm okay. People just call me Brainy or they call me Beaver. It's whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Sorry, just to finish really quickly. With regards to the licensing, see, in the other provinces, you go and get your license, and your license is separate from your insurance. The license is government. That's your ability to like drive your car and be allowed to. But it's separate from your actual insurance. Your insurance is gathered through private insurance, which is very similar to most places. Whereas the difference with here, where it's public, I actually this is one thing I do like about it. Okay, so like when you're in private insurance, let's say your kids are getting old enough to drive cars.
Yeah.
So now your insurance gets affected by the fact that your kids are driving your cars. So your insurance company says, well, you got a nice F-150 and your wife's got a nice whatever. We want to charge you this much because your kids are going to drive your cars. We know they're going to drive your cars. So then they jack my insurance for the kid driving the cars. But that's kind of not fair because my car still costs what it costs to insure. Why do they charge? Anyway, so where I'm going with this. So now, and if your kid gets in an accident, even if he owns his own car, but he lives in your house, he gets in an accident, writes off his car, your insurance goes up because he's allowed to drive your cars. So you have to either get him to sign something that says he will not be driving your cars, and if he does, you have no insurance.
Yeah.
Or you just have to pay the extra insurance because the insurance company's like insuring your kids against your vehicles.
Yeah.
But here where I live, the way they do it is that you have your insurance, and the insurance is based on your car. It's not based on anything else. It's not based on your risk factors. It's based on your car.
Yeah.
You have a 2008 blah 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 blah. Well, that's what this car is worth. It's approximate value. This is what it costs to insure, because they know all the rollover rates and death rates and statistics for what it costs to repair, and they got all that figured out. And just like insurance, here's what it costs to insure that car. But then You have another fee that's your license fee. And that's the one that goes up and down based on your actual driving record. And I love it because your car insurance never changes. So if your kid's a shithead, guess what? His license costs more.
All right.
So he goes from having a $60 license, just like a general, administrative fee, to all of a sudden, or like a $45 license or whatever it is, to all of a sudden he's got like a 300 or a 400, and it starts going up really aggressively at some point. Like by time you start getting to the $1,000 mark, they've sent you to like a driver training course you had to pay for too, like $400. But like at some point, like I know people that have been like, young guys, right? And they're like apprentices, and they're like, man, my license costs like $1,200. I'm like, you best work on that. Like, because it'll get to the point where they'll eventually just take your license from you once you get to a certain threshold. But it starts getting expensive quick. Like you go from like $45 to like $90 to like 150. All of a sudden it's like 300, 600, $1,200, $1,600. Like that's how they punish you as a driver.
That's insane, absolutely insane. Because in the UK, you get your driver's license when you take your driver's test when you're 17, and that's it. You've got your license. You don't pay.
Well, you pay on your car insurance though.
Because car insurance.
But this is the way that they do it, so that it's the same thing. So you're paying for your license, it's what's the difference, right? Whether you pay for your license or I see what you mean, because but see the problem with that is that if you borrow people's cars, you never pay any fucking car insurance. So everybody, you can wreck cars all around.
In the UK, you have to be named on the. So if I want to borrow my dad's car, I have to be named on my dad's car insurance.
Oh, see, you don't. That's not the way it is here. See, for instance, even when I Kia, my engine exploded, and they rented me a car. Yeah, they paid for the rental and everything, but I had to either pay like $12 a day to use Enterprise's insurance, or I can go to the same insurance, sit down at one of any insurance offices, because all the insurance offices are like a depot for AutoPack. So I can go and sit down. They get paid by AutoPack. I sit down in any insurance office and I just say, hey, I want car rental insurance, and they have like a $15 to start, and then $2 a day or $3 a day kind of thing, and you pay for insurance, get your rental car insurance and stuff. But I don't have, where I was going with that is like I'm the one that rented the car, and I'm the one that got the insurance for the car, so the car's insured now. My wife can take it as long as she has a driver's license. She was allowed to drive away in the car as long as the insurance that says my name on it is in the glove box of that rental car in case she gets in an accident. Because that's the proof that a car is insured, and because I rented the car and the insurance is for me for a rental car, she's fine to drive it because she's a licensed person. So it's obviously very, very different setups.
It's very different.
But see, the nice thing here is if your kid goes out and he acts like a shithead, he drives like crap, your car insurance doesn't go up, your household car insurance doesn't go up. Like I remember my buddies was telling me, his kid, like older buddy, his kid was telling me, he was saying to him, he was like, man, he's like, I can't afford to get my license. It's going to be $400, Dad. And he said, he just smiled and said, fuck, you better start working, buddy. Like, it's time to pay your dues,
the way they do it here, they just make it really expensive for young people to get car insurance. Like, for example, a 17-year-old kid that's just passed his driver's test, he can pay £4,000 a year for car insurance.
Well, don't get me wrong. That's what they do. That's what they do in Ontario. But it can get ridiculous because of that, because there's no standard. It's literally whatever the company decides to charge you. And as long as all the other companies are charging you more too, there's really no hope for you. Where at least like here, you can literally, you get put on a chart. They give you a point chart, and then you can work like every year you drive accident or ticket free, you get it literally cuts your points, your negative points in half. So like if you're a negative 10, next year you'd be a negative 5. And then you become like a negative like 3, and then a negative like, and then at some point it starts going down in smaller increments, but you start, anyways, you know what I mean? It starts, and then once you start climbing, it only ever climbs in ones. And then, but they actually start discounting you. So then on the upper side, so think of it as like a negative chart starting at 0 in the middle, and it goes down, and then it positive going from 0 up. And so they give you every year that you drive, once you hit the 0 and you're going positive, every year you drive, you get a point. And then you start building up. And what happens is at point 1, your driver's license goes from $45 to $35, let's say. And then at 2 points, it goes down to like $20. And then at 3 points, it's like free. Your driver's license is free. You just pay your car insurance. And then and then or maybe it never gets free, but either way, at a certain point there, they start giving you a discount off the car premium, your car, if you own, like if you're insuring a car.
Yeah.
So, but the nice thing about that setup is if you don't borrow, see in your system, I guess if you have to be named on the car for insurance, then they're paying for the insurance of a shithead driver.
Yeah.
But here with private insurance, you could essentially borrow people's cars all the time, wreck the shit. You could just go person to person and smash the cars into trees.
Yeah.
And there'd be no penalty to you because you don't own a car.
Yeah.
You know, you're not paying a car insurance. All your friends are paying, and you know, now you leave your friend behind. Well, he's wrecked a car. Well, as long as you don't own a car, you just got a driver's license. You just pay your fine for, you know, cop gives you a ticket for taking a wrong right turn or losing control of your car. You pay your ticket and on you go.
Yeah.
You know, you're not insured on a car.
Yes.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I know that as long as you've got an active driver's license, somebody can lend you their car and you're insured.
Yeah, it's definitely not like that. Yeah, definitely not. Right, I'm gonna start wrapping this up pretty soon, because we've been going
I'm
now.
enjoying the chatting, but I see we're losing some of the people here, and we've been going for a while. So
Yeah,
for
we've
sure.
been
Do you have
going
any
over-
more? Do you have any super chats you want to? You obviously
Yeah,
gotta throw those in.
I'll just address one of them was from you. $5 for the subs. Pass it on. Don't tell burnt toast. I read out the casual spaceman, I think. Yeah, I did. He likes my Welsh humour. I'm not entirely sure why. And somebody, Chris Kellen, super chatted $5 as well. The US dollar is still behind the pound, so this isn't going to go as far as one of your fivers. Yeah, I don't know what the exchange rate is at the minute, but there's a couple of questions in the Discord as well. I don't know if we want to have a look at them. Have you seen the one that Radical has found? It's something to show you, I think, Brainy, rather than read out. It's a Twitter page for Brainy Beaver that isn't you.
Oh, is there really?
Yeah.
Where's this?
If you click
I
on the
didn't know
link.
Which link? Where? Oh, did you send it to me in the thing? I see.
Yeah, it's in
I see what you're talking about. I see
yeah.
what you're talking about. All right, let me get
Somebody's asking me to say laser beak eject. I don't know why they want me to say that or what it means. But there we are, I've just said it.
What is this? Brainy Beaver computer repair and web design? Oh my god.
Now, you know, earlier on today when I messaged you on Discord asking you to send me a picture, I went on Google and typed in Brainy Beaver, and that's what came up.
What's funny about that is that I didn't know he existed.
No?
Interesting. No. He's only. I got more followers. Wait, do I? I don't think I do. I've got 100 and something now. Maybe I've got more. Anyways, either way, don't want to plug it up with that talk. But yeah, that's interesting. I'll have to. I didn't know that was there.
And somebody's
Let us fix
asking
your
me.
damn computer. That's really clever.
Somebody's asking me in the chat to make a video on Jake the asshole. I think that you've done a video on him, haven't you? No, or Radical. Radical did a video on him, didn't he?
On which guy, sorry?
Jake the asshole.
Oh yeah, no, he was. I found him the other day. YouTube showed him to me too, and I was like, oh, this guy. I was like, I'm pretty sure I recognize this guy. I had to go look at Ragical's stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, this is this guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I probably will do. I keep a list of people I want to make videos about, so I slowly work my way through it.
How is the Earth a pressurized system with no barrier next to that of space? This twat is doing a good. Okay, I don't know if I'm reading the right thing. I'm in that right spot for asking for where your questions are. Anyways, you go over. What are we answering here? Is that it?
Somebody's just super chatted. Creaky is asking for beaver pics. Yeah, he sent me one. I don't need any more.
Did I send you? Did I send you the one on the toilet? Because Look at Pig has that one. I was like, he called me and I'm like, you always phone me when I'm on the toilet. He's like, send me a picture. So I sent him a picture of me sitting on the can, but I like put a beaver face over I put this image over my face.
Yeah.
I think he said he's going to use it as on his channel. So if everybody checks out Look at Pig's channel whenever he gets his videos going, he's going to use it as like a super chat thing. So it'll be me sitting on the shitter.
Yeah. we could have used that one for this live stream.
There you go.
Right, anyway, thank you very much to Mr. Brainy Beaver for joining me. It's been
thank you
fun.
for having me. It was a lot of fun.
No, it has. It's been good fun. It's been good because this is kind of what my streams are meant to be like. Just two people just chatting and just having a bit of fun and nothing too intense. And I think that's exactly how this stream has been. So I hope everybody that's watching has enjoyed it. And
Yeah.
have you got anything coming up in the next week or so, Beaver, that you want to promote?
Apparently I'm going to be doing a collab with Conspiracy Cats. I don't know when that's happening, but no, probably not like immediately. But I'll have to message him now because he said to contact him. So I'll have to send him a message and see about that. Other than that, no, I don't. Just my typical. You know, it is with the young kids. It's really hard.
Yeah,
so
it
I'm
is
trying
difficult.
I want to try to maybe do like I'd like to do a video a week plus a live stream a week. But in the summer, I've got kind of some summer projects, some beekeeping stuff and everything. So. It's going to be a little difficult. So at the very least for now, I want to at least do a video or a live stream on Fridays or Saturdays kind of thing. And I'm always looking for more opportunities to throw a live stream in the middle of the week. So try to just keep your eyes peeled for that. And like always, I'm just trying to make my content better, funnier, and get it done a little quicker so I can kind of get some of them in the can and do some more premieres too, because it's difficult. You want to put them on there, let them bake so you can see if they're going to be demonetized and stuff, but then there's not a lot of time for figuring out premieres, right?
Exactly. Right.
Anyways, but yeah, otherwise, just no. Thanks for having me, and it was a lot of fun.
It's been fun, dude. Right, everyone. I think we will leave it there, and Mr. Beaver and I will see you all again soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Take it easy.